What happens when the god of the afterlife is betrayed by his own brother, a god driven by envy and hunger for power? Among the countless myths in Egyptian mythology, one stands out as both tragic and awe-inspiring: the tale of Osiris, the revered god of the underworld. Osiris wasn't just a figure associated with death, he was the embodiment of life itself, symbolizing rebirth and the eternal cycle that governs the natural order of the universe. His reign brought peace, prosperity, and harmony to Egypt, but it was destined to be cut short in the most brutal way imaginable. The peaceful life of Osiris came to an abrupt end when his own brother, Set, the god of chaos and storms, devised a sinister plan to seize the throne. Blinded by jealousy and consumed by hatred, Set betrayed Osiris in the most shocking manner, murdering him and scattering his body across the land. This was more than just an act of murder. It was a cosmic disruption, throwing the balance of the universe into disarray. But the story of Osiris doesn't end with death. In a tale of love and magic, Osiris's devoted wife Isis sought to restore him, piecing together the fragments of his body to bring him back to life. What followed was not only a miraculous resurrection, but the birth of a legacy that would forever alter the fate of the Egyptian gods. How did these mysterious events unfold, and how did Osiris transform into the ruler of the underworld? Let's unravel the remarkable journey of Osiris's rise, fall, and resurrection. Osiris ruled Egypt not just as a god-king, but as a symbol of peace, prosperity, and wisdom. Revered by all, Osiris was credited with bringing essential knowledge of agriculture, law, and order, transforming Egypt into a land of abundance and harmony. His reign was marked by growth and stability, qualities that endeared him to both the gods and the people. However, this success did not sit well with his brother Set, the god of chaos, deserts, and storms. Set watched as his brother's influence spread across the land, breeding jealousy and resentment deep within him. He craved the power and admiration that Osiris commanded and became consumed by envy. Determined to seize the throne, Set devised a cunning and ruthless plan. During a grand banquet, Set presented a beautifully crafted chest, announcing that whoever could fit perfectly inside it would claim it as their own. The chest, however, had been secretly measured to fit Osiris exactly. Unaware of the trap, Osiris lay down in the chest, and as soon as he did, Set slammed the lid shut and sealed it tight. In one swift, treacherous move, Set and his followers cast the chest into the Nile River, leaving Osiris to drown. With Osiris gone, Set claimed the throne for himself. But this act of betrayal was far more than a grab for power. It was the event that would spark the legendary conflict between the forces of order and chaos, setting the stage for one of the most famous and enduring myths in Egyptian history: the battle between life and death. As word of Osiris' murder spread throughout Egypt, his wife Isis was overcome with grief and despair. But Isis was no ordinary goddess. Renowned for her immense magical abilities, she was also deeply devoted to Osiris, and her love for him drove her to defy even death itself. Determined to bring her husband back to life, Isis embarked on an extraordinary journey. She searched tirelessly across Egypt, navigating deserts, rivers, and temples in pursuit of Osiris's body. With the support of her sister Nephthys and the god Anubis, guardian of the dead, Isis pieced together every fragment of information she could find, following clues that pointed her towards Osiris's resting place. Eventually, her relentless search led her to a somber discovery: Osiris' body, concealed deep within the reeds of the Nile. But her quest was far from over. In his fury, Set had not only murdered Osiris, but had dismembered his body and scattered the pieces across the land. Isis's mission now grew even more daunting. She was no longer simply seeking resurrection. She had to track down and gather every fragment of her beloved husband. This new phase of her journey became a race against time and fate, as she knew that restoring Osiris would require not just her magical powers, but the strength of her will and the guidance of the gods. After an exhausting and perilous journey, Isis finally succeeded in gathering all the scattered pieces of Osiris' body. The pain of seeing her beloved husband dismembered was immense, but Isis's love and determination never wavered. With her powerful magic and the help of the gods, she painstakingly reassembled Osiris. Through her devotion, she was able to bring him back to life, though only for a brief moment. In this fleeting time, Isis and Osiris conceived their son, Horus, who would eventually grow to become one of Egypt's greatest gods and the avenger of his father's unjust death. Osiris' return to life, however, came with a price. Though resurrected, he could not remain among the living, nor reclaim his throne as king of Egypt. Instead, Osiris accepted his new role in the underworld, becoming the ruler of the afterlife, presiding over the souls of the dead. His resurrection was far more than a simple act of magic. It was a profound symbol of the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth, which lay at the heart of Egyptian belief. Osiris's transformation into the god of the underworld signified a new chapter, not only for him, but for Egypt itself. It marked the beginning of Horus's destiny, setting the stage for the eventual clash between Horus and Set, the god who had murdered Osiris, thus paving the way for justice to be restored and balance to be achieved. With Osiris now reigning as the god of the underworld, the weight of reclaiming the throne of the living fell on the shoulders of his son, Horus. As Horus grew, he became a symbol of strength, justice, and righteousness, destined to avenge his father and take back the throne that Set had stolen through treachery. But Set, the god of chaos and storms, was not one to relinquish power without a fight. The tension between Horus and Set soon erupted into a series of epic, legendary battles, each more intense and dramatic than the last. Set, representing chaos and destruction, employed every dark trick and cunning strategy he could muster. His mastery of deception and disorder made him a formidable opponent, one who could not be easily defeated. Yet Horus, fueled by a deep sense of justice and the desire to honor his father's legacy, was relentless in his pursuit. Armed not only with his own divine strength, but also with the favor and support of the other gods, Horus stood as the embodiment of order and life itself. This wasn't just a fight for a throne. It was a cosmic battle between the forces of good and evil, between the harmony of creation and the chaos of destruction. The entire fate of Egypt, and indeed the balance of the universe, was at stake. Every clash between Horus and Set rippled across the heavens and the earth, shaking the foundation of both worlds. Would chaos reign, or would justice and order be restored? Egypt's future hung in the balance as the gods waged their war. The tension reached its climax as Horus and Set prepared for their final confrontation, a battle that would decide the fate of Egypt and the cosmos itself. Set, the embodiment of chaos and destruction, stood against Horus, the symbol of light, order, and justice. The clash between these two powerful gods was not merely a struggle for the throne, but a cosmic battle between opposing forces, chaos versus order, darkness versus light. As they engaged in combat, the heavens trembled and the earth shook, reflecting the immense power of their fight. Set, relentless and cunning, unleashed his fury, determined to maintain his grip over Egypt. Horus, however, fueled by the legacy of his father Osiris and the desire to avenge his death, fought back with equal strength and courage. Blow after blow, the battle raged on, each strike reverberating through the universe. The gods watched as these two titanic forces collided, the very fabric of reality seeming to bend under the intensity of the conflict. Despite Set's raw power, Horus's resilience and determination ultimately tipped the scales. Horus, representing justice and the rightful balance of the cosmos, finally struck the decisive blow. Set was defeated, ending his reign of chaos. In this pivotal moment, Horus not only claimed his place as the rightful ruler of Egypt, but also restored balance and peace to the world. His victory ensured that the legacy of his father, Osiris, would endure, and Egypt would once again flourish under the rule of light and order. Though Horus restored peace and order to the world of the living by defeating Set, Osiris's journey didn't end with his death. In fact, his role in the cosmos had only just begun. After his resurrection, Osiris became the ruler of the underworld, a role that would see him presiding over the realm of the dead for all eternity. As the god of the afterlife, Osiris wasn't just a passive figure. He played a pivotal role in the lives of both the living and the deceased. His judgment ensured that those who had lived virtuous and honorable lives were granted entry into the field of reeds, the eternal paradise of the afterlife. Those found wanting faced the terrifying prospect of oblivion. Osiris's transformation from a mortal king to the divine ruler of the underworld carried profound significance. It symbolized not only the personal resurrection of a fallen god, but also the broader concept of the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth, an unbroken cycle that reverberates throughout Egyptian mythology. This cycle reflected the natural rhythms of the Nile's flooding and the planting seasons, the rising and setting of the sun, and the eternal balance between life and death. Through his reign over the dead, Osiris upheld the cosmic balance, ensuring that the forces of life and death were in perfect harmony, a cycle as timeless as the stars. The story of Osiris is far more than just a myth about gods and battles. It is a profound reflection on the eternal cycles of life, death, and resurrection that shape our existence. Osiris, once a beloved ruler of Egypt, was murdered and dismembered by his jealous brother Set. Yet through the unwavering love and determination of his wife Isis, Osiris was resurrected, though not to return to his throne on earth. Instead, he became the ruler of the underworld, overseeing the afterlife and ensuring that justice was served to those who had lived honorable lives. Osiris's journey from life to death, and finally to rebirth as the god of the afterlife, symbolizes the hope that even in the face of destruction, there is renewal. His story teaches us that no matter the depth of betrayal, life endures, and justice can prevail. He represents the resilience of life itself, the idea that love, justice, and the natural order will always find a way to overcome chaos and darkness. The lessons of Osiris' story, about sacrifice, the power of love, and the triumph of justice over chaos, continue to resonate, offering timeless wisdom about the cycles of existence that transcend Egyptian mythology. Osiris stands as an enduring figure of hope, love, and balance in both life and the afterlife.